Part 1. Summary and Review. Summary. Timothy Snyder's On Tyranny is a primer on what people can do to resist tyranny. It also provides tools for recognizing tyranny and discusses historical background on how tyrannical governments have been established in the past. Snyder mostly uses examples from 20th century Europe, particularly from communist and fascist regimes, to illustrate his arguments. The United States was founded as a response to and a rejection of tyranny. American history and European history provide resources to recognize tyranny and combat it. History also shows that democratic traditions do not necessarily protect a nation from tyranny. Democratic movements after World War I, World War II, and following the collapse of communism were often unsuccessful. The fact that tyrannies often triumph should warn democratic citizens against complacence. People often enable tyrannies by obeying totalitarian regimes in advance or anticipating the orders of tyrants. For instance, after Germany annexed Austrians in 1938, Austrians began persecuting Jews even before Hitler ordered discrimination. The eagerness of Austrians to attack Jews and seize Jewish property signaled to Hitler that mass murder of Jews in Austria was possible and would meet little resistance. Democratic institutions are important for resisting tyranny. However, these institutions will not work alone. They need support from citizens. Labor unions, newspapers, legislatures, and courts will only be centers of resistance if people commit to them and use them to resist rather than acquiesce. People imagine that resisting tyranny is an individual endeavor, but the truth is, resistance generally happens through groups, collectives, and institutions. To resist tyranny, it's important to provide these groups with financial support. Setting up a regular contribution is a good way to do this. Democracies are dependent on elections and on the existence of opposition parties. Democracies can be undermined when parties in power dismantle the mechanisms of elections. This is especially a threat when the less popular party gains power, as is the case with the current Republican administration. This creates incentives to curtail voting. To resist, people should not just vote, but involve themselves in politics and consider running for office. People can resist tyranny by refusing to acknowledge or respect the symbols of the regime. Professionals should also uphold their ethics. Tyrannies cannot function without lawyers, bureaucrats, and doctors willing to carry out the will of the regimes. The Holocaust would have been much more difficult if functionaries had refused to sign death lists or move along paperwork. Paramilitaries and private security forces are a dangerous sign in a democracy.